Hello, hi guys. I apologize that it has been 2 weeks or 2 Wednesdays already, and I have not posted. I am super sorry. There's just been a lot going on at the juvenile detention center, so it's just been taken up a lot of my thinking. But yeah, I'm back and I'm gonna catch you guys up today. Today we're catching up on the 2 Wednesdays. So so I'll start off with the 2 Wednesdays ago, what we talked about then. So 2 Wednesdays ago, I had the girls. I started off the class by having the girls write on little pieces of paper, like basically bad labels, bad things that people have said about them, or bad things that they thought about themselves, or even just bad experiences that have happened to them. So I'll give some examples so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So, for example, with me, I put things like divorced. So I've been divorced. Put things like worthless, raped, and a bunch of other things. So just the list goes on and on. So this is what I had the girls do for each piece of paper to write an individual, either like bad label or bad event that has happened to them. And then while we were working on that, I had a video playing on the TV that was a review of things that we've already talked about previously in previous classes. So for example, one thing I talked about, or the video that was first playing on the screen, was this guy that was doing the illustration of what I had done with the $100 bill, where I had ripped it up, crumpled it up, and kicked it around, and was illustrating that $100 bill, just because it had been through like a lot of stuff and it had gotten damaged, that it had now lost its value. And so that's what the guy was portraying on the TV as well. And after like doing all of that bad stuff to the $100 bill, and if it hadn't lost its value, how much more us, like we're not made out of paper, like so we're much more important than a piece of paper. How much more for us does that apply? That just because we've been through like a bunch of bad stuff, a lot of damage has been done to us, that if we don't lose our value, just like that $100 bill doesn't. So that little illustration, it reminded me of this one story in the Bible that I'm about to share, which is what I talked about next after the little video played. Then I pulled this out. I started reading it. Well, on the TV, I had made a video of me talking about it on the TV because I was busy doing the little black labels, so I couldn't multitask. But yeah, so I will share with you what it reminds me of, that crumpling up a dollar bill and how much we're more valuable than that. So it's found in Matthew 6:25. So I have a little Bible here, and yeah, this. If you guys have a Bible, yeah, you can pull it out and read along with me. But yeah, it's Matthew 6, and I just lost the page, so let me get back to it. Okay, it's right here. So this is what it says. It says, "I tell you, do not worry. Don't worry about your life and what you will eat or drink, and don't worry about your body and what you will wear. Isn't there more to life than eating? Aren't there more important things for the body than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They don't plant or gather crops. They don't put away crops in storerooms. But your Father who is in heaven feeds them. Aren't you worth much more than they are? Can you add even 1 hour to your life by worrying? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the wild flowers grow. They don't work or make clothing. But here is what I tell you. Not even Solomon in all his royal robes was dressed like one of these flowers. If that is how God dresses the wild grass, won't he dress you even better? Your faith is so small. After all, the grass is here only today. Tomorrow it is thrown into the fire. So don't worry. Don't say, what will we eat? Or what will we drink? Or what will we wear? People who are ungodly run after all those things. Your Father who is in heaven knows that you need them. But put God's kingdom first. Do what he wants you to do. Then all those things will also be given to you. So don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. The end. So that's what I shared. And actually, now that I'm reading it, I remember like, wait, I did make a video. It's on the YouTube channel where I, read that. So I'm just reading it again. So yeah, that's what I read to the girls. Since that reminded me of that illustration of the dollar bill. Like, we are more valuable than any amount of money. We're more valuable than flowers, than birds in the air, than grass in the field. We're more valuable than all these things. So if God takes care of those things, why wouldn't he care about us? Why wouldn't he, make sure that we have what we need, so we don't need to worry about those things. All we need to do is, just come before, or make sure that we do or follow God, and follow him, make him the priority in our life, and then everything else he will take care of. He'll take care of everything else. I mean, why wouldn't he? He's our Father. He cares about us, and so, being our Father, he's going to provide what we need and provide for our needs. So yeah. So after I shared that with the girls, I went ahead and told them about, we had finished the black labels already. So I went ahead and read them. I collected them up. No one wanted to, everyone wanted it to be anonymous. So I gathered them up, and I kind of, what's the word? Mixed them up so no one knew, like, who wrote what. And then I just started reading the labels, and I have them right here. I will read them. I wrote them down so that I don't have to be, carrying around the little pieces of paper. So this is a summary of the words that we wrote down on these black pieces of paper. So they were allowed to put swear words because, it's, if they've been labeled bad words, then so be it. So this is what the girls wrote down. Hoe, bitch, slut, sex worker, raped, suicidal, self-harm, failure, divorced, held captive, slow, dumb, can't cook, can't dress, he don't love you, killed my babies, fatherless, fat, ugly, you're so short, fake, lazy, homeless, not enough, you're never gonna make it. So those are the things that I read. Some of them were repeated, like, I guess more than one girl had written down the same words. For example, like the first four words that I read, hoe, bitch, slut, all of those, they were repeated many times. I think like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times each. And so those were the ones that were most commonly, that the most amount, or the ones that were repeated the most. So after I read these labels, well, actually, Andrea, sorry, I forgot. I don't want to mention girls' names, so let's scratch that. One of the girls, she, mm, she wrote down in one of the papers, "You are loved. You're loved." Or love yourself. I think that's what she put. Love yourself. So, so I read that at the end. After I had written that whole list, I read hers. And then she went ahead and explained to the girls. She, just for like, she just encouraged them. She just told them, doesn't matter what people think of you. Like, you guys gotta love yourself. And, so this is what she was saying. So she was just encouraging the girls, which I thought was amazing, awesome. I'm very, very proud of her, very happy for her that, she had the courage to do that. Or that I didn't tell her to do that. She just did it. She just decided to do that on her own. So that was really nice to see that. So I backed her up by saying, yes, girls, that's exactly it. That's what I want to talk about next. What she just said, it's true. And so I put another video. I put a bunch of videos that day on the TV. So then I put another video. A summary of it is pretty much this man is, and I need to get good. I don't think. I keep saying I'm going to put the videos that I'm referring to or talking about on the description below. I don't think I've been doing that. I apologize. So I'm gonna go back and put all the videos that I've been talking about. So anyways, yeah. So I put another video on the screen where there was this man who was just doing his morning routine. He went to a little coffee shop, got a coffee, and then he sat down. He started reading, and then he left the coffee shop and he just started walking somewhere. And while all of this was happening, and it was a silent video. There wasn't any words being verbally spoken in this video. It was a silent video. But yeah, so while he was doing all of these things, you could see that on his body he was wearing a black shirt. On his body he had a million bad labels all over himself, that said all sorts of things. And I wrote some of them down. I should not have closed my journal. It was in the same page. Okay, right here. So some of the words, just an example of some of the words that were on his body all over. I saw things like fragile, jerk, weak, freak, stupid, unstable, clumsy, loser, broken, unfixable, idiot. So that's just a few, because he had a ton of bad labels on his body. And then while he was going about his business, doing these things like reading and buying a coffee and all these things, you see in the video people were giving him another bad label. So for example, after he paid the cashier lady for the coffee, she gave him a bad label. I forgot what it said, but it was like a bad thought or a bad thing, like idiot or clumsy or something like that. So he received it, and he put it on himself. Then while he was reading, another person came by and gave him a bad label, and it said nerd. So he read that, and then he just kind of stuck it somewhere on himself. And so this was just representing just what happens to all of us, that we all go through life and just, you know, receive all sorts of bad, like negative opinions from people, bad labels from people, and even ourselves, we start believing those things and start saying or thinking bad thoughts about ourselves too. Um, and so that was happening, and then towards the end of the video, because it was a very small video, probably like 3 minutes. So towards the end of the video, he Callie, hey, what's up? So at towards the end of the video, he bumps into this guy who he just, the guy gives him a label too, but this time, like, it's a good label. Like, the paper was white. It wasn't, all the other labels he was given, they were they were black, and they had like a bad negative word. But this one, from this random guy that he just kind of bumped into on the street while he was walking who knows where, gave him a good label, and it said loved, and it was white. So he looks, this guy, he looks at it, and he, you know, he's surprised that it's actually a positive word and that it says loved. And, you know, it brings a smile to his face. And he looks up, and it's like he believes it. Like, he believes it. And when he does, like, he puts it on himself, like right in the middle. I think he put it by his heart. And when he does that, and he believes that, it's like all the bad labels all over his body, they, you know, they just start falling off. They start falling off falling to the floor. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So then, you know, then he's happy. Now he's a happy man. He's no longer, like, you know, kind of bummed out and sad that, you know, he's having all these bad labels on his body. They're no longer on his body anymore. They're gone. Now the only label that's on him is loved. And so now he starts giving those labels out to people, like that he passes one to a man. He kind of looks like bummish, like homeless or something. He looks kind of you know, just rough. He looks rough. And so the guy gives him one, and you see, that's how the video ends. You see that he looks down at the little piece of paper, and it says loved, and you see on his body basically all the same types of negative labels that the other guy had, that he also has on his body. And so you see that shot, you know, the camera view of his body also with the same stuff, but he sees this label, you know, and he just looks at it, and that's where the video cuts off, like right there. So I just thought it was a very beautiful and powerful video, just showing what I've been telling the girls, like, I'm gonna tell you why I'm here. And I just thought that was a really good summary of the reason why I'm there. Then I showed one more video, and this is the one I ended with. I really got carried away with the videos that week, like 2 weeks ago. I got a little carried away. So the other video, it's basically along the same lines. It's longer. It's like 10 minutes long, roughly, but it's like basically like the same type of idea. It's a story. That's why it's longer. So the story is, there's this town full of like wooden people. Like, that's the story. Everyone's made out of wood, and people just go around all day giving each other a sticker. It's either a good sticker, which is a star, or a bad sticker, which is a circle, a dot. That's the bad. So, and all the star stickers, they're like a thumbs up, like a like, you know, like a Facebook like, or an Instagram love heart, you know, so it's an approval from a person. That's the stars. But the dots, they're like a thumbs down, like boo, don't like it. So that's the dots. So that's what people just do all day long. They just give each other either a star or a dot. And so people are just filled their whole bodies from head to toe with a mix. Either some have more stars than dots, or some have more dots than stars, or some people just only have stars maybe, and some people only may have dots, you know, so it's just a mix. Um, and so the main character, his name is Punchinello. Yeah, Punchinello. And so he's filled with dots. Nobody approves of him. Nobody thinks he's like any good. Everyone thinks he's loser, clumsy, like has no talents, no abilities, no skills, nothing impressive about him. His wood is all jaded or like peeled off because he's been trying to do cool things like somersaults or cartwheels or do cool impressive things, but whenever he tries, he like falls or like trips, and so his paint is all like peeled, and so he doesn't look impressive at all. And so people see him and they're just they're just giving him a bunch of dots. And so that's basically like throughout the story, he finally like meets this very mysterious wooden person, also made out of wood, but this person did not have any stickers at all, nor no stars, no dots, nothing. And so Punchinello, when he saw this, he was very surprised and very amazed that there was such a person, because he had never seen that before. All he's seen is people with a bunch of stickers, with stars or dots. This is the first time he came across someone that didn't have any stickers. So he was like, wow, how'd you do that? Like, how'd you like manage to not have any stickers on yourself? And I forget what they call this person. Lucia, I think the person's name is Lucia. So Lucia tells Punchinello, "Oh, it's easy. I always go see Eli," and he points to a house that's up on a hill, like so that house is kind of overlooking this little town made out of wooden people. So it's kind of like up, so it kind of oversees this little town. So that Lucia points to that house, and he said, or she, yeah, I forgot, I think it's a girl. She said, yeah, I always go and visit Eli, and that's how I don't have like all these stickers and dots. And so he said, you should go visit him and you'll see what I mean. And so Punchinello, he was thinking about that. But he wasn't sure, like, because he was so full of black dots, and he believed like he's just a loser, clumsy, nobody wants to hang out with him, nobody wants to be near him. So he was just kind of wondering, would he even want to see me, Eli? Like, I would like to go visit this person, but would he even want to see me? So, but Lucia had already skipped away and didn't answer Punchinello's question. So, yeah. So Punchinello was like kind of left with the question unanswered. And so he was just wondering, should I go? Should I not go? And so finally he decided that he will go. He'll just go and see what happens. So he goes up the little hill and he goes and visits this man, Eli. And yeah, once he got there, he saw the house was huge, like huge. Everything in it was huge. He was like a little dwarf, and everything there was like humongous. And he was like very intimidated, or just like, whoa, amazed, like, whoa, everything's big here. And he gulped, he was like, oh, I don't know if I should be here, like, maybe I should leave. So he started retreating. He started going back from where he came from, slowly and quietly, so that Eli wouldn't hear him. But Eli did hear him, and Eli called him Punchinello. And Punchinello turns around and he was very surprised. He was like, "You know my name?" And Eli was like, "Of course I know your name. I made you." So Eli's house, he was a wood carver, or he is a wood carver in the story. He's a wood carver, and so he's making these little wooden people. Um, and so he said that he's the one that made Punchinello as well as all the other people in the little town. And so Eli told him, "Punchinello, come here. I want to take a good look at you." So Eli picks up Punchinello from the floor and takes a good look at him and says, "Seems like you've received a lot of bad marks." Because he noticed all of the dots on him. And then Punchinello tried explaining himself. He was like, how did he say it? "It's not my fault. Like, I really try. I really try very, very hard to, be a good person. I really try hard to be impressive and to be, I've tried all sorts of things to, you know, um, like be talented and cool, but nothing seems to work. Like, I always just end up failing or falling and tripping, and that's why I have all these bad marks, because